go down. From this point over here, it's got to go down. And now I can just kind of connect the dots using the bouncing and crossing. So I know at -3 I have to cross through. So when I draw this, I will cross through the x-axis. I need to come back to 0. And when I get to 0, I need to bounce off the x-axis. And then I have to go back through 3 and cross through. And that should bring me right to the other side, and I can connect these together. There it is. That make sense? Just be careful. The biggest mistake that I see on this is on the multiplicity. Students look at this number and say, is that even or odd? Right? I gave a test in my STEM class, my 1414. They messed this up too, some of them. You're not looking at this number to see bounce and cross. You're looking at the power of the factor, which is called the multiplicity. That's the number that dictates if you bounce or cross. So this could be an odd number and have a 4 here and you'd bounce. It could happen. Okay? Questions there? Let's see, how much time do we have? 15 minutes? You all know I like to give you all random information, right? Can I go off on a little? Oh, yes.
You said at the beginning of class you did that one that was not review. Is that the one that was like the D, T? You did that
Yeah.
one?
Yes, but I did a different, I did, right? Would you all agree it was different than me just saying throw a rock in the air? Had to do with the helicopter and dropping something, so it was a little bit.
But you would use that like for.
Yes. And remember, you can have a reference sheet. Make that before you come into class. Have that ready to go. Okay. I'm going to go off on a little tangent. Is that okay with you? I hope I don't lose your attention too much, but this is like somewhere in the real world where you can see mathematics in place. And this might actually surprise you when I tell you this. So I hope I'm not repeating myself. I don't think I've talked about this. The number 15, I feel maybe I have. Have I told you all about this thing where you can break up this number? Now I'm feeling like I've told you all this. If you take any number, right, you can break it down into a product, which is basically means this number is what we call composite, because it is composed of two numbers. Now both of these numbers, 3 and 5, are what we call prime. Do you all know what prime numbers are? You've heard of prime numbers before? So what is a prime number? It's only divisible by itself or 1. So like, now, let's not get into it. 1 is actually technically not a prime number. Technically, it's just, we don't define it to be. So 2 is a prime number, because the only number that divides into 2 is 2 itself and 1. 3 is a prime number, because the only number that divides into 3 is 3 and 1. 4 is not a prime number because the numbers that divide into 4 are 4, 2, and 1, right? 2 goes into 4, so it's not prime. Prime means divisible only by itself and 1. 5, prime, right? 6, no, 6 is divisible by 3 and by 2, so that's not. How about 7? Prime, right? There's only numbers that go into 7 are 7 and 1. 8, no, right? Actually, no even numbers. From here on out, no even numbers, right? Because every even number out here now is going to be divisible by 2, isn't it? So out of all the primes, the only even one is 2. After that, it's all odd numbers. Okay, how about, what's the next odd number? 9? Is 9 a prime? No, because it's divisible by 3, so that's not. 10 we know isn't. How about 11? It is only divisible by itself and 1. 12 we already know is not. 13, prime. 14 we know isn't. 15? Well, 15 you can divide 15 by 5 or 3, so that doesn't work, right? 17 is prime, 19 is prime, 21's not prime, 23 is prime, 25 is not prime, 27 is not prime, 29 is prime. So we could keep going through this. Yes?
27 is not prime?
Did I say 27 is not prime?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Maybe I did. Maybe I said it was. It's not, right? Okay, sorry. I may have misspoken there. My first question to you is, do you think that there's an infinite number of primes? Do you think that if I kept on with this list, I would have an infinite number of primes? Like there's always more. Yes or no? What do you think? Yeah? Yeah. It turns out that we can prove it mathematically that there are an infinite number of primes. All right? I'm not going to go through the proof, but just take on faith that there's an infinite number of these. I'm going to try and make this relevant to you in just a second, all right? All right. Let's say that I am going to try and send you a secret message, all right? I want to send you a secret message. And think about, like, historically, humans have wanted to communicate with each other without letting other people know what they're saying, right? That's been, you know, you have an army, you want to let them know, hey, the enemy's coming. You don't want anyone to know that, you know, you're trying to hide this information. We've used smoke signals. We use all sorts of things through history to try and send a secret message. There's one very simple way you can send a message. If you take the letters of the alphabet, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and then you just assign numbers to these, like make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that. Then I could write a message like, how about this? 8, 9, 10, 5. Hold on. I'm trying to think of a name I can spell with those letters. Hi. Oh, here we go. Hi. There we go. What does that say? H-I, right? Got it? H-I. D-A-D. Hi, Dad, right? That would be a way I could, so I could write a message to my dad and I could say, hi, Dad, right, with this. But the thing is, he would have to know I'm using this, right? He would have to know I'm using that when I send the message. And that's a problem because sometimes you want to send a message to somebody that you can never tell them this part, right? Because if I try and tell you this part, then everyone else can hear that as well. But just imagine we're on two sides of a canyon and I'm trying to communicate a secret message to you. I can't tell you, hey, A is 1, B is 2, right? I can't tell you that and then say 8, 9, 4, 1, 4, because everyone that was there could hear and would know that. Does that make sense? So how do we send messages to one another, right, in the real world in a way that it's secure, okay? And all of you are using your phones, right? I mean, we all use phones. And we know that there's encryption on certain things you do, right? If you get onto your online banking or something, it's encrypted, right? If you're using Twitter or something like that, that may or may not be encrypted. Have you all heard, like, if you have an iPhone, like, and you lock it, like, there's no way to get into it, like, it's locked? There's like, yes or no? I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that that there's a way to encrypt that can't be broken? Do y'all believe that right now, the way we are in our world, that there is a way to encrypt a message that cannot be broken by our best, smartest, most technologically advanced, you know, what is it? NSA, National Security Agency, FBI. No one can break this encryption. Do you think that's where we are in terms of our technology right now?
I think it might take some time, but they will eventually find it.
You think that they can? Okay. So I'm going to tell you they can't. Okay, there is a type of encryption that right now, the way things stand, cannot be broken. It's been this way for a long time. That's why when we were going through some scares in the past, 5 years or so with terrorists within the country, and they were communicating on these apps with each other, planning attacks, we couldn't do anything about it because the encryption that they were using, we already know can't be broken. Now that encryption that can't be broken right now is based upon this mathematical principle, okay? This very simple principle, which is this. If I start out with a number like 15, the question to you is, can you break it down to 2 primes? Now, if we all look at 15, we go, oh yeah, sure, 15 is 3 times 5, okay? But when you do encryption, the type of encryption I'm talking about, it's a little more complicated than this. So let me try and first explain how it's used, and then I'll give you the $1 billion question. All right? So let's say that I'm trying to communicate. Let's say I'm trying to communicate with one of you, okay? On the other side of the canyon, or maybe you're on the other side of the world. I'm going to try and communicate with you. All right? Here's a way it'll work. Every one of you over there that I want to communicate has a special what's called key, and it's called your public key. All right? So everyone, let's do it the other way. Let's say you're trying to send me a message. Let's do it that way. You're trying to send me a message, and I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm ready to get your message. The first thing I've got to do is I've got to let you know my public key. So I will yell out to you my public key. And what that public key is this number. Okay? So I'm sitting here going 15, 15, 15. Am I running out of time? 15. Everyone can hear me saying 15, right? So what you'll do is you'll take your message that you want to send me. Let's just say it's hi dad, okay? Hi dad is what you want to send me. I'm not your dad, but you know what I'm saying, right? So you want to send me this message, right? I'm saying 15, you want to send me hi dad, you don't want anyone to know. What you do is you take that number 15 and somehow you use that number 15 to scramble this message up. Now that part I'm not going to get into, but there's a way to take this number and do something like we did with the A, B, C, D, where we assign numbers to it. That's called the encryption phase, okay? So you're trying to send me hi dad, right? I say 15, and you take your message and you use that 15 to scramble it, right? Let's say when you scramble it, using my 15, right? However, don't ask me how, that's beyond the scope of this class. You get some message, and maybe the message is ZQ17M. Okay, maybe that's what it is. After you scramble it, right? So you want to send me hi dad. What you're actually going to send me is, you're going to yell back across the canyon to me, ZQ17M. Okay, everyone can hear that, ZQ17M. Everyone can hear it. The only way I can unscramble it back to this, the only way I can do it is if I know that 15 is 3 times 5. That's the only way to undo it, is to know that 15 came from 3 times 5. There's no other way to unscramble it. Now that may seem stupid, but see, I said there was an infinite number of primes, right? So what we do here is we don't take a prime number like 3 and 5 and multiply them together to get a public key. We take a 40-digit prime, and we multiply it times another 40-digit prime. And then we multiply them together and we will get an 80-digit composite number, and that's our public key. So I'm sitting here yelling to you an 80-digit number, right? Everyone can hear that 80-digit number. You use that 80-digit number to scramble your message. You send it to me, and now the only way to unscramble it is to know that that 80-digit number came from these two 40-digit numbers, which I know, but nobody else knows. And so you might say, well, wait a minute, we can just use a computer, right? I can just get a computer and have a computer figure out those two numbers, right? It seems like that would be reasonable. Can't do it. It takes too long. And if computers get faster, all we do is go with bigger numbers. So, okay, computers get faster. Sure, we'll use 60-digit numbers. If they get faster, we'll use 100-digit numbers. See, we're never going to run out of numbers, and computers can just get faster and faster. So you might say eventually they get it, right? The standard, this is actually called, there's a name for this encryption, it's called Rsa Encryption. These are the 3 first letters of the last names of the 3 guys who came up with it. I don't remember what their names are, but it's called Rsa Encryption. And so the standard that they use is this, like the way they picked 40 and 40-digit numbers, they said, okay, we want to make sure that no computer can break this down. So they said 40 digits because they said if every computer on the planet was trying to break this simultaneously, we want it to take 10 times the age of the universe. So that's the way they figured it. They're like, okay, this is how fast computers are these days. This is how many computers are out there. If we use 2 40-digit numbers, then it's going to take 10 times the age of the universe to break this down to the 2 40-digit numbers if every computer on the planet was working on it. So if somebody, I'm sorry I've gone off topic, way off topic. If somebody can figure this out, if somebody on this planet can figure out a way to take a very, very large composite number and break it down to its primes quickly, then we will no longer have safe encryption. We will lose it, which means banks won't be secure, communications won't be secure. So it wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, right, if we can't secure things anymore. But anyway, it's a simple problem though, right? It seems simple, 15, 3, 5, 80-digit number, 40 and 40. Seems like the security of all of our data and everything should be something more complicated than this, right? But it's really this simple. All right, thank you for letting me go off on a tangent there. Yeah, you're ready for the exam on Thursday, right? We'll see, right? Come in, relax, make sure you're rested, make sure you eat before you come. All right, got nothing else? Yes?
I have a question. For the exponentials, for the table, would we just use -3 to 3?
Yeah, when you're doing, what number is that?
7 and 8.
7 and 8, always make sure on number 7, 8, we all use the same table. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. That's what we would use, right?
Yep,
That's what we would use? Okay.
yep,
Awesome.
yep.
I just wanted to see if what I have for my reference sheet is acceptable as far as, I know we're not supposed to have anything worked out, so.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so, okay.
Yep,
All right,
yep.
thank you.
Yeah, that's doing it the right way. I mean, like thinking about what you know you're going to need and use little symbols and.
I appreciate you, sir.
All right.
Was this pencil yours?
You're welcome to it.
Okay.
I don't need it. I have plenty of them.
As far as the reference sheet, are we allowed to have it front and back?
Front and back.
Okay.
Yep.
Have one entry.
Yep, you can have that whole back side to do whatever you want on there.